Welcome everyone to VR Jungle Havoc podcast. We have our first guest on since it's just been me since I lost my lovely naked co-host, and today we have Scott, or a lot of people know Damage X, right? That's what I believe it is on one of the Discords that you're in. But he is part of VREL. He's the CEO over there. They're a great league that just started coming up within the previous year, and now he mentioned on the last podcast that we had him a couple months ago talk about Ghost of Tabor, and that's what we have him here today. So if you want to go ahead, Scott, and talk about Ghost of Tabor and basically release dates, or even talk about yourself and what even got you into Ghost of Tabor, like even making it.
Sure, yeah. So everybody knows me as Damage X, but on VREL's Discord, I'm Damage X, but on Ghost of Tabor, I go by my real name, which is Scott. So I'm prior military and police, and I've always been into super hyper realistic games like DayZ, Arma, Escape from Tarkov. I've always been really into those kind of games. And in the VR community, everyone I spoke to has always said, "Oh my God, I wish we had a game like DayZ or Escape from Tarkov in VR." Everybody always wants that. Mm-hmm. And I'm just really thinking, why has this never been a thing? No one's attempted it even. And are we not able to do it? That's the thing. So what I was able to do was we raised the funding through an investment company, and we went out. We found some great developers, one of them actually being one of the lead developers that used to work for Epic Games. We actually stole him away from there.
Oh,
he used to work on all their VR content. And he said, yeah, we can do this. So in Q1 of 2023, Q1 does include the last day of March, we will actually be rolling out a closed beta that you'll get access to from purchasing the game and one of its different packages, sort of like Escape from Tarkov, with the different packages you can buy. We're going to do the same thing, different starting loot, that kind of things. Right now, we're actually, as I'm talking to you, we're sitting here working out the AI for the NPCs, how smart they are.
Oh, really?
So we're doing all that right now. Yeah, it's super cool. So to see these guys work, and I've gotten into map making with them. I'm an old school Photoshop guy, and I started making some of the maps. So 3 of the maps that you're going to play on, I've personally made. And I think it really helps with a military background and been playing games since Beta 7 on Counter-Strike on Pancake. You know what to look for, proper layout and pathways of the maps. So that's what really got me into that. Was I just enjoy it. It's relaxing as well. So Escape from Tarkov is a hyper-realistic milsim with real ballistics, real everything. We really went as far as we can go without breaking the world of VR to bring something to the world of VR that's never even been attempted.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm super excited. Super excited.
So, has there been a VR game made like this yet? Right? You said,
to my knowledge, nothing? I don't believe there has been one done like this, to my knowledge. I'm almost positive there's nothing like this. I think the closest thing you could get is maybe Onward, as far as realism of weapons mechanics and stuff like that. Being a prior military guy, I've handled a lot of guns. One of our modelers is prior Russian military. He's handled a ton of guns. And everything down to even the way the MP5 works, and a lot of people have no idea how it works with reloading, is like this in our game. I'll give you a quick example. MP5, if you have a full 30-round mag and your bolt is forward and not back and locked in the rear position, you can insert a mag. It will not insert, because on the bottom of the MP5 bolt, there's little bitty, I'll call them nubs.
Yeah.
Little bitty things that stick out that prevent that MP5 mag from being loaded in unless the bolt is back, because the magazine's too full and the ammo has nowhere to go. But if you put in a magazine, the bolt can be forward, and you can throw in a magazine with 27, 28 rounds in it, your magazine will go in with your bolt forward. Where a lot of these games you see, Onward, Contractors, Pavlov, it's just you can throw a mag in it and charge it and go.
Exactly. All you have to do is pull the pin back.
Get. Right. Not, and even ours even lock up. And you've got it to where that classic MP5, what is known for in real life, where you can hit the charging handle and it sends it forward. So it's like we're trying to go hyper realistic because realism is what is missing. We are in VR. So why not be as real as possible without also being too overly complicated? Where games that people are comparing us to, like Escape from Tarkov, if you want to call me Escape from Tarkov in VR, please do. Like, please. I think that is a compliment. That game is very ambitious in its goals.
Yeah, and so Escape of Tarkov is a game that was for PC, and it was hyper realism when it came to loading into a map that it was kind of you go in there with your stuff, but if you die there, you lose your stuff. And not only that, but the players that you're in there with, you have to make sure that you know who's on your team because it doesn't have a placement tag of who they are. So you could accidentally kill your own teammate if you don't know their positioning.
Correct, yeah. Same thing here with Ghost of Tabor. We are set in the year 2044, so maybe there will be something that you find at some point that may allow you to have, like, same friend indicator or something like that, maybe in the future.
Yeah.
But, like, if you die in Tabor, you're gone. Your stuff's gone. Everything's gone if they take it. You can insure it. Maybe you'll get it back. Maybe you won't. Depends on if people take it or not. And this game has real-world consequences because, you know, say you're rocking a pack. So we signed a partnership agreement with a company called Terran Tactical. No one knows what Terran Tactical is. Terran Tactical are the guys that built all of the guns, and then Karen Butler, who owns Terran Tactical, actually trained all of the movie stars, including Keanu Reeves, for John Wick.
Oh, really?
So he's the reason they shoot the way they do. Yeah, so we signed a partnership with Terran Tactical to include all of the John Wick guns in the game. On a DLC pack coming out in the future. So what if you're rocking your favorite John Wick revolver or 40 caliber and you get shot and you died? It's gone. Sorry. You lost it.
Oh, wow.
Hope you find another one.
Yeah, so
now, you know, maybe you'll get the skin back because we don't want you to lose. If it's a DLC pack or something like that, like, you'll get to keep the skin. But, like, maybe you don't have that revolver anymore, or that certain pistol to apply that skin to until you find another one.
Yeah.
Or you gotta rebuild it or something like that. You know, there's ways we're going around this, but, like, we've signed huge partnership agreements with even people like SOG Knives, who are used by every special forces operator in the world. We've signed deals with them. We've signed deals with Terran Tactical, Guard Dog Body Armor, Blackout Coffee, which is a military-owned coffee company.
Yep.
God, I can talk about some of them. I think a lot of them are on our Discord, but there's a lot more I can't announce yet.
Yeah, and, like, I know the ones that you have out there that are willing to be shared, obviously, are the ones that are on the website. And so, like a lot of people, if you don't know, it is not ghostoftabor.com. It is actually on the link in the description. It's combatwaffle.com, which is the studio that is actually owned by Scott here. That's why it is under that, because, you know, maybe down the future they're going to have more games that we added to the combatwaffle.com thing. And so
if you go to Ghost of Tabor, it should redirect them to Combat Waffle.
Correct. So even if you type it in, obviously from Google Analytics, it'll put you where it needs to be. And so, yeah, I've seen, like, a lot of these as well because with VREL that you're part of as well, it's a lot of shared similarities there. Obviously, they trust you as a person, so it seems like a lot of them carried over to this, which is pretty cool. And they all have really good meetings, or like what their companies are about that is teaming up with you. So it's just not some Joe Schmo. They, you know, for instance, the Nine Lives apparel, you know, a lot of those profits also go to combat veterans, right?
Correct. Yeah. So they actually have a really cool program. It's called the Nine Line Foundation. So what happens with us is, and everybody that buys, like, a percentage of their profits from all their clothing sales goes to the Nine Line Foundation, and that supports injured veterans.
Yeah. So that's what I like about a lot of your the people that come on and actually, you know, want to help out you in VR as well, is that, you know, it's just, like I said, it's actually people that, you know, you're doing a military game. Why not bring on people that would, you know, also benefit military people instead of just playing, hey, here's a military game. We're sponsored by Double Bubble. It makes no sense, you know.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But the cool thing about this is when you're looking at this is the story that you actually give a little bit of what happened, like the time frame. Like you said, it's in 2044, but it all started in 2042, which is pretty cool. And then one of the things which I thought was interesting, is that you already have out there is the three factions that you're going to have, which is Ghost, Phoenix,
Yeah.
and then it's Folk, right?
Volk.
Volk. And so, how much is that going to play? Like, once you join a fraction, like, are you stuck on that? Or is that like your guild type thing where,
Yeah.
are you allowed to kind of speak on that, or on how that's going to work?
Yeah, I mean, I can speak on anything I want to. CEO. It's whether I'm willing to or not. Yeah, so factions are going to play a pretty good role. You see them. Sorry about that. You see stuff like in games like Ghost in Escape from Tarkov. So I think that's the easiest way to explain our factions. So anybody that's ever played Tarkov, you know, when you choose one of their factions, it gives you like buffs and perks, but it also gives you like bad stuff. So like, if you choose a Ghost who is, if you read the lore there, they're former Special Forces soldiers, right, from the U.S. that NATO hired.
Yep.
So basically any type of U.S. or non-Soviet weapon, you'll handle better than, say, Volk does, because they're Russian Special Forces or Russian militant forces. So they'll handle your AKs, your Dragunovs, all those more European-style rifles. They'll have better out the gate, they'll have better recoil handling just on base rifles more than, say, a Ghost will, compared to them using a Scar.
Okay.
Right, or an M4.
Yeah.
So there are reasons for that. Now, Phoenix, a lot of people are like, oh, Phoenix is the way to go. I haven't really put it out there yet. It's not known. You're the first person I think I'm telling. But so Phoenix are our non-playable characters. And when I say they're non-playable, you can still play them, but almost in the same form and fashion as you can in Tarkov, where they're almost what Tarkov calls them scavengers, like on scabs.
Yeah.
They're actually going to be your aggressive, non-playable characters that are attacking you while you're trying to loot and fighting other players that are either Ghost or, in the multiplayer world, doesn't matter if they're Ghost or if they're Volk. If someone's trying to kill you and take their loot, they're trying to kill you and take their loot. And that gunfire is probably going to draw in Phoenix NPCs. But then at a certain point, like every 30 minutes to an hour, you can say, hey, I'm out of loot. I have no guns. I have nothing. Let me go do a Phoenix run. Let me go run as a Phoenix. And you can jump in a raid with 20 to 30 minutes left and do basically a free run. Like, you're going to load in as a Phoenix character that already has gear and armor randomly populated. You'll have a different weapon and ammo and gear and whatnot. Backpacks, that kind of stuff, and then you'll get to run through the map and hopefully kill a player or two and get some gear and extract with it. And now you just got all that free gear, and it didn't cost you anything. You lost nothing. Wow. All you did was gain.
Yeah, that's
so that's
cool.
A way for players, because with that real world consequences, right? You need a way for people that get. Hold on, let me try to not be to get shit on, basically. And lose all their stuff. I'm trying to be as non-toxic as possible.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Right now.
Yeah. No, it's definitely get it.
And I'm not really a toxic person, but that's a way for guys that maybe they're first learning the game, or maybe they're not very good at the game, because there are players that even play in competitive scenes that aren't the greatest, but they still have a good time with it, right?
For sure.
This allows them to continue to play without having to, say, reset their account back to default or something like that. It gives them a chance to keep playing and having fun.
Yeah, so that's definitely cool. And another thing I wanted to kind of touch base with this story as well is that it said that there's going to be areas that will be toxic. So, is there any chance that you might go into an area and, you have to, risk getting diseases or dying from, anything that's from a nuclear fallout? 100%,
yes, you should expect that. You should also expect to have Geiger counters that you can use to test for radiation pockets. There may even be an entire map that you can't go into with complete MOP gear, is what we call it in the U.S. Army, which is head-to-toe coverage that allows you to be in dangerous chemical warfare areas.
Yeah. Yes, I saw that.
I mean, I'm going to go to that map
cool.
without having that.
Yeah. So, you think they're going to be kind of a watch thing where you actually can monitor, the tinking and the noise, where it's hey, this is really high up?
You'll see all that.
Awesome.
Yeah, we actually have, you can see it in some of the screenshots. We actually have a wrist tablet that shows you health, current, that kind of stuff, damaged body parts. That's all, I think, been out there publicly in videos and whatnot. So that'll probably be tied in that way, or you may even have a separate, Geiger counter that you have to carry on a strap on your body somewhere. And remember, all this stuff is lootable except for your arm HUD. That's not. But your backpack, your helmet, your gear, your guns, everything. It's all lootable. So.
Yeah, and so obviously it's going to be based off of. Are you going to keep on running with a story for the DLC? That it's going to be a continuous story that you're going to try and follow.
Yeah.
And like, how much do you have a lore writer by chance? That's going to keep on keeping up with.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, cool. Yeah, those are the most exciting things I like about games. Like the one thing that I really dislike is like, as much as I love playing like a game like Population 1, but I think what they really failed at is that they have a map that has it's just like you got a western area, a castle area, but then there's no lore. Like they started doing a lore, and all of a sudden it's just like, here's a map of a whole bunch of shit. So it's like, I mean, I get it, it's fun, but
Facebook, right?
Huh?
They got bought by Facebook.
What?
Had to bottom out and everything just sort of stopped, right?
Yeah, and so I mean, but hopefully I think that they're getting ready to do stories, but especially with what you have here for your beginning story, is I can see that there's going to be a good lore behind it. And that's what, like, even like Call of Duty, since they started doing their Battle Royale, they've been really good at keeping some type of fresh story part of the, like, what's going on and why they're doing this type of, scenery change.
Right. Yeah, there'll be ties in for other games we have planned too. You'll see a comment, like our second game coming out. I've actually talked about it publicly. It's called Aphelion. If you look it up, you'll see that it's a word that has to do with space. So you can fully expect a game coming after Ghost of Tabor about space. And you may see a common name that's carried over that may sort of be like our umbrella. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there, maybe connected to every single game we make. So that's sort of we want to carry on this lore and this backstory and turn this into what VR has really missed out on. And it's a complete connected storyline based game that sucks you in from the first game to the 12th game.
Yeah, that's definitely pretty cool. And like, dang, that means I'm gonna have you on more times. And I think you're my favorite guest right now, bringing on with all the great stuff you've been coming out with.
We've got 6 games in the shoe right now.
Oh man, that means that people are gonna be hearing your voice. We're gonna have to get your camera working so you can actually start talking to me in my little podcast room here.
Yeah, I'll have to maybe get it hooked up on my laptop and see if it'll work on my laptop. My PC just will not do Zoom.
It's like, come on, Scott, you have all those developers making wonderful games over there, and you can't get a camera working.
Yeah, you're telling me. Thanks, Logitech. Damn you.
Yeah. So I know that you said that, obviously, since you are over at VREL as well, and only thing I was going to touch base with that because, like I said, if people want to really talk about or listen about VREL, there's another podcast they can go watch. But the one thing I wanted to bring up is that you said that they have all rights to Ghost of Tabor. I know you mentioned that before. But so with that happening, like what exactly do you plan on doing competitively? Like how is this going to fit in VREL's kind of mainframe of competitive play? Like how are you going to run tournaments? How will getting first place look like? Or is it just going to be individual team, just kind of who's got the most leaderboard for a expenditure of time?
No, I'll give you, I don't know if you ever played a game called Hunt Showdown.
No, I've never heard of Hunt Showdown?
Hunt Showdown. If you look into its multiplayer and the way it works and its competitive scene, I'm a huge fan. Actually, all of our developers are a huge fan. We've had a lot of meetings about how we're going to implement a style of battle royale. But we didn't want to do the traditional shrinking zone and circle, and we wanted to make it something that VR hasn't seen yet. So we looked at Hunt Showdown really hard, and we made a lot of changes that would fit better in VR. But yeah, we were definitely planning a battle royale style, 4v4. You get to start. This is all we just talked about. This isn't set in stone. But you wouldn't have to worry about your loadout stuff, like in your hideout, right? Like your personal loot.
Okay.
You would all get starting kits. Everybody across the board could build their own kit with certain weapons, a loadout basically, just for competitive play. And there you go. That's all I'm going to give you. It doesn't affect your personal hideout. Look up Hunt Showdown competitive play.
Yeah, I have it pulled up right now. I'm looking at it. I don't have it pulled up on here, but I've never heard of it. So people want to kind of a foreshadow of what his competitive play is going to be like. It's going to be tailored like this game Hunt Showdown. It looks pretty good.
There will still be NPCs in our competitive play as well.
Yeah. So so can you kind of touch base on how intelligent these NPCs are going to be? Like I play in certain games where like you have to come to play some of these NPCs. They're very smart. They know when to get behind cover. They know what kind of gun where your weaknesses are.
Yeah. So they may not know where your weaknesses are because they're just normal soldiers themselves in a fallout zone, but they definitely will know military tactics, and they're rebel fighters. So they know how to ambush. They know how to flank, maneuver. You may even be in a house looting a drawer, and maybe one hears you inside the house running around outside, and he comes in and starts looking for you.
Nice.
It could. So the NPCs will be very, very intelligent, and they will be skilled, but they won't be as skilled because a lot of people are compared to Tarkov. So Tarkov's NPCs early on were really dumb, but they could headshot you with a shotgun from 250 yards.
Yeah.
In one shot, like just one tap you. It won't be like that. We will have a tutorial that'll teach you how to, how the NPCs will be, and we'll have an opening tutorial playthrough. But do expect a full challenge when fighting these guys. They won't be as armored or have the kits that you'll be able to have as a player. Some will. Maybe there'll be NPC bosses that are a little harder to kill. Maybe they're a little bit more leveled up on armor. They have better weapons. But they will be pretty intelligent. They'll definitely give you a challenge. And I think that's the way it should be, because you may join a server late at night. I've ran into Tarkov matches, and I've never seen a single person.
Yeah.
But I encountered NPCs constantly.
Yeah.
So you still want to make it challenging, not just a cakewalk, because while we want replayability, we also want people to always have to be on edge and not just get to where it's just going through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to be one of those games. We're like, oh, let me climb this ladder. Oh, here's a loot spot. Let me grab that from my backpack. Okay. Oh, crap, there's an NPC there. NPC just followed me up the ladder. Like, what the hell? Like, we want it to be fun, but challenging, where you can always come back and you're going to have a good time playing it. And especially with the updates we're going to make and do the months after release, I think people are going to really like it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a great game, and I know that there's been people testing it, and I know that you still have an area for people to kind of join the early access. So you just had your first round of alpha last week for PC VR, and you said, is it going to continue with the PC VR? Will there be a chance for it to end up on an Oculus for standalone?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Now, are you going to be pushing that pre-release or after release?
No, it'll be pre-release. So we will come out on Quest 2 native and PC VR at launch.
At launch. So you just so the people out listening, so will there be two different alphas, or when you start putting it towards Quest, are you just going to call that like a different, like that's going to be just part of beta? Because pretty much if you get the PC VR version down, changing it over to a Quest standalone it's just a graphical change, besides probably some coding.
Yeah, I mean we're building from the start for optimization of Quest.
Mm-hmm.
So we started from Quest. We've already done one successful APK Android package built and tested it.
Yeah.
In-house. So we're down the right path immediately, and we had a big discussion about it in our general chat earlier. People just going on and on about how, or I'm sorry, not just one person, a troll from Vail came in, and they for some reason have a hard on for us right now, and I don't know why. But they came in talking about, oh, you're going to release on Quest 2, your game's going to suck. That's not necessarily true. And people were like, well, in contractors, they didn't put grass in this spot for Quest users. I'm like, well, that's on the developers, not because the Quest couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
The developers just chose not to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
They did their optimization poorly in their pass-throughs. So we have a team of 6 developers, and we're a startup company. We have 2 full-time modelers. We have project manager. We have me.
Yeah.
We have 2 level makers full-time. Like these are full-time employees, and we have a full-time software developer that's handling all of our servers and everything else. You actually know him. His name is Infish from VREL.
Yep.
And he's like one of 12 people in the world with the certifications that he has, and he's only 27 years old. He's a freaking genius. So it's like, they just didn't prep right. Like, we are never going to make the business decision to leave out 75% of the VR market.
Exactly.
Which is Quest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, PC VR is great. I love it. I love my Index. But 75% of the VR players are now on Quest because of Meta releasing the Quest 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only going to grow.
Yeah.
So we have to release for that. If you want to survive as a company and actually be able to pay your employees and keep them around for a long time and not just be a one and done like a lot of VR games are, you have to bring on Quest. You got to use Quest users. You have to have them. You need them.
Yeah.
So we've been developing from the get-go for Quest, and I do plan on probably doing like a little, like probably towards the end of alpha before we go to closed beta.
Mm-hmm.
Because we'll never have an open beta. We'll probably stay in beta for a little bit, closed, where you have to pre-order the game and then you get access to the closed beta, which a lot of games are doing now. Mm-hmm. Towards a little bit later into alpha, I'd say probably, I hate to even throw out a dig, my developer's going to smack me in the face, but sometime around the fall, we'll probably start bringing in the Quest users, and really, because that's really when we're really going to start hammering home a lot more Quest optimization, because our guns right now, everything's 4K resolution, so it's like we got to bring it down a little bit, for Quest users. So
now, are you gonna have the switch in for Quest users? Because I know that PCVR runs at 144 hertz, and there is still studies that you could flick a switch on for Quest 2 to do 120 hertz. How optimized are you going to be able to hit that 120 hertz?
Honestly, that's for the developers to answer. I couldn't even tell you. If he would have made it, he could have told you. But I know it's 100% of the plan. Mm-hmm. for Quest users to have the full experience and not have to have any issues. I can actually tell you what he said earlier in chat during the big talk. Somebody was bringing all that up, and he made a great comment. And so we have the capabilities to differentiate graphics for PC and mobile VR Quest, because we are using Unreal Engine and specific things. I hate to use the example of Fortnite, but the difference of Fortnite on PS4 and PC with the ray tracing /mobile is ginormous. Specific things like different shaders for mobile, VR Quest 2 versus PC VR, draw distances, etc. Mm-hmm. I can go into a lot, but I'm actively coding and just wanted to chime in and say whatever your preferred VR gaming platform is, Ghost of Tabor will kick ass on it. Yeah. It's a big balancing act for sure, but we are confident that our game will look brilliant for high-end PCs and scale well to those more economic PCs and down to mobile VR. You will lose nothing from our decision to support Quest 2.
Yeah. And so you put a good point there, that the fact that, for an example of like Fortnite, they have PC, they have console, and they also have mobile. And also like games like Apex Legends, they're also doing that same type of model. But if you load into those games on your mobile phone, it looks no different. I know a mobile phone is still powerful, but I would not put my mobile phone more powerful than a Quest 2 on my head compared to frame rates and the way, they're all working computers in our hand or on our face, some formality. So it's like, is it just the developers kind of not wanting to go the further distance, or pretty much what stinks is that if you make a game and you're not making them side by side with the PC VR, with the Quest at the same time, then you're just taking a pretty much a code that you're just trying to morph to make it work.
Yeah, they're building this high-end Lamborghini, and they're saying, okay, we got this Lamborghini. Now let's turn it into a Scion.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're trying. They have to strip too much out of the game because they never built for optimization. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these guys aren't using Unreal. They keep using Unity. So when you're in the dev world and you're a CEO, you're looking for, like when I was looking for developers, Ronaldo to be with me since day one, and we're trying to find, and we're posting job hunt applications everywhere on LinkedIn, everywhere we can. He's calling out employees, stuff like that he knew were good. We had I got like 600 applications in like 2 days on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. And 3 of those people were the only people that had experience with Unreal Engine. Everyone else is Unity.
Yeah.
You're with Unity versus Unreal, in my opinion, Unreal is the Lamborghini and Unity is the Scion.
Now, are there ports for Unreal to be on Quest?
Unreal. Yeah, so Contractors is made with Unreal.
Okay.
Pavlov's made with Unreal. Yeah. Yeah, that's just your source engine. So, like, whatever you build the game in. So, like, Apex Legends is made on Unreal for mobile. Mm-hmm. Fortnite's Unreal. Like, so many games are Unreal. And now Unreal 5's came out. Like, that changes everything for VR users. Once all the VR plugins that these people have made, and a big part of the problem with VR right now in Unreal 5 is the collision stuff, because they switched to an internal engine instead of NVIDIA. They switched to Chaos, which is made by Unreal. Like, once that's all working with all these different VR plugins, like, the game has changed. You're talking giant maps, like giant maps. That's something you've never seen in VR. Be able to run that on a Quest 2. Like, it's all coming, but we're still, so we're producing on Unreal 4.27.
Okay.
That's where we're at. But we are prepped and ready to go the moment we're able to click the button per se, which it's a lot harder than that, but to migrate to Unreal 5.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool, because I've talked to a couple developers before about why Unreal is not as common compared to Unity, and they just said
it's
that's
hard.
Yeah, because it is hard, and I was told that some of the plugins, when you're trying to get your very first steps into the Oculus Store for App Labs, it's kind of a little different to kind of get it into App Labs, and I was told it's unfavorable, and that's why they choose not to do it, just because of the level of difficulty, just not because it can't be done.
Yeah. There's a lot of plugins we've had to strip down and completely like recode. Like, Ronaldo's had to completely recode stuff to make it even work right for VR, even though it claims it works right for VR. So it's really hard. And he's a graduate from the Unreal Academy in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Cool.
He's been doing this for well over a decade, and he was the lead developer for Surreal Entertainment, which was the lead VR developer for Epic Labs Detroit. So we're in good hands with Ronaldo.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a hell of a team, and so it's kind of ignorant. You know, that's what's the one thing that I really don't like about the VR community, that it's so small. And, you know, as people know that Havoc, we push for a non-toxic environment. That's our biggest thing. And for games that have other people in Discords come over, like you said, like say Vale, you know, that's what you said. It came over and started talking that your game would be trash just because it was going to be released also on Quest 2. But for one, it is kind of weird that people have that theory in their head. Like, that's not that game. I've heard it from other games as well, that making a game that's going to be released on Quest 2 is going to be, you know, quote-unquote dog shit, which I 100% disagree with, because I've seen other people do wonderful things in Quest 2. Yeah, so what if they didn't make a blade of grass? Are you really noticing a blade of grass when you're running around shooting people?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, if you're focusing that long, then you must be the kid that's sitting out when you were in Pee Wee baseball picking dandelions out of the grass. You know, you're the one that noticed the one dandelion when you're playing baseball. It's like, come on. I play competitive. You know, I was playing competitive contractors for a while. You know, I've been playing competitive for a while. I've never noticed at all the difference in the game, besides the person that's in front of me that I'm trying to put down. So that blows my mind.
Yeah, I think there's a couple maps in contractors. There's a couple maps in contractors as a comp player too. Hideout, I think, is the big one. Maybe it's Hideout. But there's a hill in PCVR, maybe it's Wildlands. There's a hill in PCVR that has a ton of grass on it. You can't see down that hill. But on Quest 2, you can look up that hill and there's no grass. So you can see the people on PCVR, but they can't see you. And that just came down to making optimized grass from the start, which we've made custom assets, trees, grass that look great for PCVR, but they work with Quest 2. So it's all about just that give and take, and actually putting the time and starting from day one with the idea that we're also going to be on Quest. We're going to be on PlayStation VR 2. We're going to be on PC VR. Like, we have so many options here to go.
Oh yeah.
And I think we're going to look best probably on a Vario headset, if I have to say so myself.
Oh really?
So I think we're going to look really good on Vario. Yeah.
Vario, man.
Vario's got that nice human eyesight distance. I think it's going to look pretty good.
Vario, what? Vario, is that the blue headset, right?
No, I think you're looking at the HP Reverb G2.
Vario, let me look at Vario.
That's the blue one. Vario's the Aero, really nice.
But yeah, really Vario Aero virtual headset, starting at a whopping $2,000 on this side that I'm looking at.
Yeah, so I played with it at Augmented World Expo, and my God, like, I love my Index, but it put it to shame, in my personal opinion.
Really?
And Index is an amazing headset with great resolution and lenses and everything else. But that Vario, there's nothing like it, in my opinion. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a pretty decent headset. And you said you got to play with it?
Yeah. Yeah, I did get to play with it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get one eventually here.
Yeah,
it.
They said the widest field of view at 115 degrees. Wow.
Yeah.
70 ppd. Yeah,
it's
I mean,
crazy.
It's a you definitely pay for your money on this headset. It looks like. But talking about this, but a lot of people kind of leave them out, which I don't know why, because they were kind of the very first steps into actual more people playing it, which is PC PSVR. You know, PSVR 2 is getting ready to come out with some amazing specs. Some people, you know, how are you gonna try and match that, bringing PlayStation people into it? Because you know that's also beautiful graphics on the PlayStation, and I know with the hand movements and the actual controllers that are coming with the new PlayStation VR is going to kind of revolutionize gameplay for PlayStation.
No, I agree. Yeah, so we were waiting on our dev kit to show up. Could be whenever it gets here, any day. We will not release on PS VR 2 right away. It'll be definitely after launch for PC VR and Quest 2. We'll focus on that.
Yeah.
Because we really want to get this out to the PC community and the Quest community. But we do plan on releasing on that, and it will all be cross-platform through Epic Online Services.
Awesome.
So you'll be able to play with people on PlayStation. You'll be able to play with people on Quest. It'll all be together.
So your platform for cross-platform will be mixed in between Epic's stuff?
Yeah, so from what my developers have told me, like we're using Amazon Web Services for our servers, because that's the route to go. If you need game servers, it's Amazon Web Services. Their Linux servers are just freaking fantastic. But from what I was told, for all the data storage, all that stuff, it'll all be Epic Online Services. That's apparently the top dog on the market right now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, Epic runs all their games through their stuff.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. And so I should already have an account created then, right? It's going to be as simple as that?
It should be, yeah. We're going to release on Steam. You know, we'll also be releasing on Epic. So it's really wherever you want to buy it, but your account storage is just going to be on the Epic Online Services. So all of your data, your stats, all that will just be stored on that servers, basically.
Yeah.
To migrate. So that's what we're going to use for that, and the matchmaking and all that will all be Epic.
Yeah, because
to my knowledge, and that's why I wish the developer was here to answer that question appropriately. But
yeah, I mean, we'll definitely have to when it comes close to actually coming out, we'll have to have a conversation with us again. And I know I'm going to have you on again for real. I know you guys are about to have a big update coming, in August or September?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on between Ghost of Tabor and VREL. So one thing I wanted to touch base with this, also the game, is you're releasing the very first at release, basically like the one game that you're talking about. Why can't I think of the one that you said this game's like? Why can I not? It just lost that in my mind.
Oh, Escape from Tarkov?
Yeah, so you're going to release it like that, to where you join a team, or you come in, you get with your friends, it's a loot and shoot type game at the very beginning, and then you said down the road, when you start getting into competitiveness, then you're going to start making it almost like the game that you mentioned, that's going to be kind of like a battle royale.
Yeah, so it'll be a separate mode. Yeah, it'll be a separate mode where you always have your loot and shoot, because like you see in Contractors and Pavlov, there's some people that just want to pub it up. They don't want to play competitive. But we also don't want to forget about the competitive community. I'm huge. I love VREL. I love everything about it. I'm super invested in it. And the players over there, and they're all fantastic, except for the couple headaches that, that comes along with the territory. So we want to make sure that there's a cool, unique, competitive online mode for people to come in and win games and that kind of stuff. So VREL will be hosting that league exclusively. Much like Big Box in there, you actually have to have written permission to host any type of Population 1 competitive tournament, ladder league. You actually have to get written permission from those guys.
Correct, yeah.
To do such. They just don't enforce it. Like VRL is one of the only people with that permission.
Yeah.
In writing.
Yeah, I remember you talking about
we're
that
the only
last
people
time.
with that written permission. Yeah. So we're Combat Waffle will be enforcing that.
Cool.
We have that same stipulation in our EULA, and we will be enforcing that. We have great legal representation, and I don't want to have to do it over a tournament where people want to play. But that's what VRL is for, and that's what we've chosen to go with. We've actually had probably 5 or 6 leagues approach us since we announced Ghost of Tabor, wanting to get in already. One of them was already one of our big competitors over VRL, and we just had to let them know, hey, listen, we're staying at home. These are the team we trust. This is what we're doing. We're keeping it in-house. And it just works easier that way because, like I said with VRL in our last interview, we like to work with developers directly. Yeah. Because we want their input on how it should be ran. So it only makes sense to keep it the same way where we've got it now.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And the good thing about doing that, and which I wish that Population 1 would hold more value to that stipulation, is the fact that when you have that type of contract or written permission to run a league, the actual company looked into the league to be like, they know what they're doing. We trust that they're going to run it good, and we actually get input. For instance, the game Knock that came out a couple months ago, it had really high potential of being very competitive, being almost like the next game that's supposed to be sports-like, run around VR. But the thing is that within the very first month, even first week of it coming out, there's like 20 different Discords where 20 different, a whole bunch of people are trying to play in these leagues. If some person just said, hey, Knox, like, hey, we want these people to run the league, instead of having a diversity of 20 different people yelling at each other, screaming which league is the best, just pick one. Like, yep, this is the best one. Let's put people in this. Let's get people playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. But it's just like VR is such 100%. A wild, wild west land where it's like anything goes. And so that's why I'm glad to hear that.
You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad that you said Ghost of Tabor is going to be staying home, because at least we know that you kind of oversee both. And so you have the passion of making this game. You have the passion to keep VREO alive. And so that's really good to hear. But yeah, I wish like other games, like I said, like I'm not going to put down any Population 1 leagues, but there's some back in the day that there's like 3 at once, and there was like, why are we doing this? And then the toxicity that comes from it is always not even worth it. It's like you guys are putting a stain in VR just because you guys don't know where to go to compete.
Right. Well, it's something else I think I'll drop now. I probably shouldn't. My developer will probably be angry for me telling you all. There will be an anti-cheat from day one in Ghost of Tabor. We've seen it too much. We're seeing it happen in other games that no one thought it was happening in. On the backside of VRL, it gives me a little insight with some of the developers. You see some cheating happening. We already know and have identified these cheats with the developers, and we've already started developing our anti-cheat in-house. Cool. We did speak with BattleEye. We decided to do our own thing. We spoke with Easy Anti-Cheat. We still decided to do our own thing, and we basically just opened it to where your Oculus account won't just be banned. We will hardware ID ban your Oculus.
Wow.
We will hardware ID ban your freaking motherboard on your computer. Like, we're not going to play around with cheaters. We're not going to allow it to happen. Much like BattleEye does, they ban your hard drives. We're going to ban your hard drives, your mother ID, your RAM, and your GPU. We're going to ban every single piece of hardware ID you have in your PC.
Wow. So
we're not gonna play games.
That's pretty intense that that you're gonna take it at that level. That's good for someone like me that doesn't have even care about cheating. Even the sense I get on there to play competitively, but there are people in a game such as like Contractors to where you'll find cheaters in that game constantly, and they will use and abuse the crap out of it, and all they have to do is download an exe file into their thing, and the next thing you know, they're seeing everyone on the map.
Yeah, it's there. It's happening. People think it's not, but it is unfortunately happening.
Yep.
In a lot of games. Pavlov's a huge one. Onward's a big one too. We've actually even eliminated jiggle peeking in our game. You can't even jiggle peek.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a huge thing for the Onward fans out there. No jiggle peeking. Yeah. So I hear that all the time.
No
please eliminate jiggle peeking. Please, please, please.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's apparently a horrible problem. I didn't even realize it was that big of an issue.
If there's a will, there's a way. If it comes to somebody wants to look good, and they're just not a good person. But I'll be the best sniper in the world, but I'll have to cheat. I have to cheat to do it. They'll do it. The game might not even be fun to them, but they're looking so good on screen that they don't care. They just know that they're getting the views, people like them, and then next thing you know, they get caught cheating.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we decided on that from the get-go that we were going to have to do an anti-cheat. I come from the pancake world. Played high competitive CS, and cheaters were horrible there too. So
for sure.
Yeah, that was from day one. We decided that anti-cheat's happening, and we don't care how big of a streamer you are, what your name is. It's the same standard we have VR. We don't really care who you are.
Yeah.
I don't care if your dad's, the current sitting president of the United States. You're probably not going to ban.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
but yeah, we're going to take a pretty hard stance on it. Even, so when you log into anything, even with your Quest, there's hardware IDs all over that Quest.
Yeah.
Your MOBO, your graphics card, your processor. We're just going to ban it all. Like, just buy. See ya. We don't want you here.
So yeah, that's pretty interesting. I don't think any game in VR is doing that. I know there are some games in Pancake that take some cheating pretty serious. I know pretty much all of Epic
Tarkov is
games
one of
will
them.
do it. Yeah, Tarkov, yeah.
Yeah. The problem with Epic is they use easy anti-cheat, and it's so easy to bypass, and they don't do anything to stop it. Like, they made an anti-cheat that worked for a long time, and now every single anti-cheat out there. But it's really weird because, like, if it's not Fortnite, it's super easy to hack in. But if it's Fortnite, you get banned within 3 minutes of booting up a cheat in that game.
Yep.
Like, they're all about it with Fortnite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've been it since the get-go. I've known plenty of people that were big streamers, and they got caught, putting in software, and they were banned instantly. And they first of all, people know about it. It's not, it happens on stream. They get caught doing it. They're like, oh, I can't load into my thing. I got banned. That's really weird. Yeah, you were cheating.
All right. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we're
go ahead.
So yeah, we're gonna take it very seriously, and we're not gonna play any favoritism, and we're just not gonna deal with it. Also, if you get to kill one of us, one of the devs will be running around with special camo, and maybe we drop special prizes if you can kill us.
Oh. That's gonna
be we drop cool. Special loot, like special items. Like, we just want to make it fun for the whole everybody, and you'll see a lot of us on playing constantly because that's what we do, right? We'll get on and play test. Maybe we'll run around without guns. We're just testing stuff publicly in live servers, and we're just testing things. So you may run across one of us in black multicam, running around.
Yeah.
And there's a dev.
So that's pretty exciting that you'll actually be out there and the possibility of dropping good loot. And I know we'll get ready to wrap this up, but the one thing that I wanted to mention is that, this will be kind of a looter shooter. Now, what's the level of looting compared to making you a good player? Like, can I just play the shit out of this game? Next thing you know, I have the top loot, and is each gun the same level, or is it going to be like Division where you have like a white tier, a blue tier, and a gold tier of different like difficulty of weapons that have better things? Can you speak on that?
So it won't even be tier-based. Yeah, it won't even be tier-based. So actually more attachment-based. And every weapon will be usable to a different degree depending on the user. Much like Contractors or Pavlov, it really comes down to the weapon of your choice. And then different attachments, foregrip, suppressors, sights, butt stocks, rear grips, different types of ammunition. We'll have 3 different types of ammunition. You'll have like tracer rounds. You might have full metal jacket. You might have armor-piercing rounds. You'll actually be able to create your own ammunition in your safe house based on what type of powder you have, and if you have enough brass to do it with, and an actual Dillon Precision, which is a huge ammo reloader, like the biggest one in the world. They partnered with us to be the official reloader in the game for the ammunition reloading. So it doesn't really matter. There's no tiers of guns. It is based off how you set your gun up to compensate for recoil and your overall just playability. Where I'm a player, like in Tarkov, I player hunt. That's what I do.
Oh, yeah.
I just run down people and find them and kill them and take all their stuff. Half the time I don't even take their stuff. I just throw it in the bush for them just because I wanted to kill somebody and I take their dog tag. That's all it was. Right? I just wanted to player hunt and ruin somebody's night. It's my way of being toxic.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
But
part of the game.
But there will also be the option in the game to avoid people completely. You'll have routes and paths that you can take to avoid other players and get your loot and improve your hideout and learn stuff. Because spawns will be random for loot and guns and everything else, and you get to stock your hide up full of food to actually eat, water to drink, energy drinks, smokables, whatever you want to find.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait to see more of this, and because it's going to be a very suspenseful game where I'm gonna have to. I have a Whoop watch. I'll have to play it on there and see how much my heart gets elevated trying to steal loot and not get killed at the same time. And I do that with a whole bunch of games.
Wait till you find something that is. Wait till you find something that you randomly will put you in there where you find something that's worth like, I don't know, like $100,000 or something in-game currency, and you got to go sell it on the marketplace, on the flea market, or to one of the traders, and then you're running with it. And then like in Tarkov, they have something that we call it. It's called a container. It's a safe container. If you put it in there, people can't take it off your body.
Okay, cool.
Tarkov players call it putting it inside your ass, basically like your prison wallet.
Yeah.
And we do not have one of those. So if you find something really valuable, like your key card or something else, like you gotta avoid people. You gotta get out alive. So it'll be pretty interesting. It'll be very hectic and fun.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait to see more of this. And is there anything you want to kind of end with, like where people can go, where they can sign up? I already said Combat Waffles, you can go and sign up, but is there any other information you want to say?
Oh, yeah, you can go to combatwaffle.com and register for early access. It's not a guarantee to be chosen. We do currently have 22 people that are playtesting early access for us, but we'll be choosing more in the coming weeks and months. We appreciate your support. You can also find a Ghosts of Tabor on all social media and Combat Waffle on all social media. I think it's Combat Waffle Studios on Twitter. Combat Waffle is already taken. But yeah, you can follow us on there for live updates. We're dropping new media daily on Twitter. There's new stuff posted on social media every single day. We have a great company called Forge Relations. Forge is our social media management company. They handle all of our media management, basically, from top to bottom. Proper D, which a lot of people in the community know, he's actually our director of media. He's paid staff to develop all of our videos, graphical assets, all that good stuff. And he works hand in hand with Forge, and every single day except for weekends, they post new drops on our Twitter. I think today they posted really cool screenshots from like a couple different maps. I think Subway Station and Missile Silo. So.
Yeah, and so I'm looking it up now. So it looks like, is there two different Twitters, one for Combat Waffle and one for Ghost of Tabor?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, there should be two.
Okay, yeah.
But Ghost of Tabor, I think, is what they update the most. I don't know if they touch Combat Waffles.
Yeah, and so I'll definitely, if I do say Combat Waffles, I'll put it on there. I do have Ghost of Tabor in the link in the description. And yeah, like they said, like the images that they showed today, that they gave pictures of the missile silo, shooting range, safe house, and subway. They look very beautiful images. So it's always nice seeing those small little kind of get you going on a game that you want to play.
Looks like the profile photo and the banner photo on Ghost of Tabor Twitter also, those are both from Missile Silo.
Missile Silo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
So yeah, nice to have you on here, and like I said, we'll definitely have to have you on again, either talk about Viril or go on and talk about more of the release, or even the next game. You said there's gonna be potentially 6 game releases from
we have 6. Yeah, we have 6 in the shoot. You'll be looking at probably our second game release, Aphelion, which is our space game, sort of like a Dead Space, Doom, Halo game. Also more of like a horror shooter looter kind of a game, which will have ties to Ghost of Tabor storyline wise. Will probably drop at the end of 2023.
Cool. Very excited for that, and people should be excited for this game. And if you want to test it out, just join their Discord. They're releasing even things that aren't to the public in the Discord. I know obviously there's no NDA for the Discord, obviously, unless you do sign one. But you get better information on the Discord just because you're actually being part of the community, and actually get to hear from the devs that actually will sometimes jump in and tell you the specs and kind of like, hey, this is what I'm doing, I'm coding, but we got some good stuff coming. So Scott, always a pleasure. Scott, Damage X,
Of course.
I go to different places and I hear your name differently, but always a pleasure having you on.
Of course, thanks for having me. Always love doing your show.
Awesome, cool. All right, everybody, plan on seeing us, next Monday, same time as usual. I'll find out who's going to be our guest. I don't know yet. I think I have a lineup of people I got to pick from. So, see you all later.